Alright, here's a video where we're going to look at a deadlift with two different versions. First version being a sumo deadlift, and the second one just being a traditional deadlift with an alternating grip. Alright, so you can see Nathan here has already got an overhand, underhand grip here, and the sumo stance is really just a very wide stance. So this is excellent for someone with poor glute control. We use this quite a lot with, say, someone with sacroiliac joint pain from that's radiating into their back, and they just don't have very good glute control. If I use a normal deadlift, they tend to experience pain. They just can't get their glute involved. They just crank everything into their lower back. If I give them this wider stance and allow them to do it that way, it mechanically helps the glutes to get involved easily, and we find that these people will find this is much easier to do. So let's have a look at Nathan do a couple of these. You'll see how he's in this with his glutes already, his hips abducted already, gives his glutes a good chance to fire up, and alternating his grip here makes sure that we get a balance on both sides between right and left, because quite often people will always pick the same one to do it with. So it's very important to, like any exercise, to have a balance between the opposing sides. And you can see here he keeps a beautiful hip movement here, and it gives a maximum leverage for the glutes to get involved. Now, the minute he goes to a normal deadlift, see, obviously the biggest difference here is the width of his feet and his hips now. It's much harder to recruit the glutes now because they've gone narrow. Ideally, you would like to get to that position, but some people, we would start with the sumo and then head to this one, or probably the trap bar before this one, to be honest, which you can see the trap bar in the background. So now you'll see him go to his traditional deadlift, and you'll also get to see him use his underhand, overhand grip, and he'll do a couple of pumps on some of the others. All right, so he's in his nice position here, pushes up through the legs, comes back down, he'll change hands, and you'll see him just sort of rehearsing that hip hinging action, right, to try and get his body involved. You'll see that a lot with weightlifters. They call that a pump, and he's just like really trying to get his hips involved, rehearsing the movement. He'll do a couple more, getting his shins real close to the bar. He wants to keep that bar really close. It's very important for any deadlifts to keep the bar as close to you as you can. All right, so that's a great way to sort of use two different versions of the deadlift, and to sort of see how one can sort of be a stepping stone to the next. All right, so hope you enjoyed that video. See you on our next one.